America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. We got a great show for you tonight, everyone. A lot of different topics to talk about. A lot of interesting things. We're going to dive right on into the show. I'll tell you guys about our topics, but again, please remember to smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Today, I want to talk about this ICE shooting that happened. Someone opened fire at an ICE facility. They used the same caliber rifle they used in the Charlie Kirk assassination. Cash Patel put pictures out of the bullets shortly after the person killed himself after firing a few rounds. But it's weird. They reported this as if it was going to be ICE agents who were attacked. The entire report, everything you saw in the news, all the reports you saw implied that it was an attack on ICE agents. Either the shooter was the worst fucking shot of all time, or the media is lying. Because not a single ICE agent was hit by bullets, only the detainees were. Only the illegal immigrants who were detained by ICE were hit by these bullets. So we'll talk about that today, we'll break down that. This could be one of the bigger conspiracies to happen recently, and we all know Cash Patel literally has no credibility. Cash Patel fucked up Epstein, he fucked up Obama, he fucked up the Charlie Kirk thing. Cash Patel has lied time and time again. He even testified in front of Congress saying that Epstein did not traffic to anybody, that he was just a solo pedophile, which we all know is false because there are countless victims who have testified otherwise. They have accepted settlements from other people. You think Prince Andrew just paid money for nothing? No, that's not what happened. A lot of these people are guilty. We're not getting answers on it. Cash Patel is one of the main reasons. Cash Patel is literally covering for these pedophiles. We'll talk about the entire conspiracy with this shooting and Cash Patel's failures today. We'll talk about the rise in political violence. It's still continuing, whether this was a conspiracy or not. This is another thing to add to the list of political violence that's been happening. We have had a lot of political violence recently. When I was growing up, we didn't really deal with that. In the early 2000s, it sounds crazy saying it like that, but in the early 2000s, I don't remember people getting shot in the back of the head for being CEOs of companies. I don't remember the president getting shot at rallies. I don't remember influencers getting sniped in the neck. I don't remember pedophiles being, again, there's a lot of things that are, they're really bad in politics right now, really corrupt. But we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's the point of this show. That's the point of shows who do similar things. We're going to talk about all that today. I want to talk about Palantir as well. I find it really odd that Palantir is spying on our phones, all our data. They're saying they're doing it so they can prevent hundreds, if not thousands, of Muslim terror attacks every day. But what about the terror attacks that are happening? What about the guy who was going to shoot the guy who shot Charlie Kirk, or the guy who just shot at either these ICE agents or the detainees? What happens to stopping any of that? Why is Palantir... They're looking at all our phones, all our emails, all our texts, all our web history. They own all the VPN companies. They just bought an ExpressVPN, so now they own 8. But yeah, they do all that, but they can't look at a fucking Discord server to see who's going to commit the next terror attack, because that's where these people are being groomed. They're being groomed by feds, intel agencies, in these Discord chats, in these things like that where they're getting groomed at a very young age to plan terror attacks. They're saying, oh, we'll give you a way to escape. They make it seem like the person is not a patsy. This has happened for a very long time. We're going to get to the bottom of all this. We're going to talk about it today. I also want to talk about the H-1B visa scam. So we talked about and reported how Donald Trump said he is going to add a $100,000 fee to H-1B visas. And then I said we should all take it with a grain of salt because Donald Trump does have a tendency to say one thing and then kind of pussy out. He has a tendency to say one thing and then completely shift. When Donald Trump says we're going to put a $100,000 fee on H-1B visas, on the surface it sounds great. But then when you dig into what it actually is, you dig into who the $100,000 fees apply to, who is excluded from it, you dig into how often they have to pay these fees, you realize it's not that great. Not only do they only have to pay a one-time fee, the employers, which they can make back in just a few years with underpaying immigrant labor and not hiring Americans, But there's also excluded categories like doctors. This is not the deterrent we needed from people abusing immigration labor and not hiring Americans. Americans need these jobs, especially in the current economy. I mean, I'm 26. The amount of people I know who got out of college in the last few years and still are struggling to get decent jobs, people who graduated with great degrees, people who graduated from good universities. And it's because these companies realize that they can just ship in all this immigrant labor and they can replace Americans. When I was growing up, everybody was told, go learn how to code, go get into all these different fields that are now being replaced by AI. And the fields that are not getting replaced by AI or eventually will, but haven't yet, those are the fields that they're just bringing in immigrants to take in the jobs. Doctors, anything that comes with computers and technology. It is very destructive to American society. We're being replaced in real time. Not only demographically in our country are we being replaced, but we're being replaced in our workplace. The old South Park reference, they took our jobs. It's as relevant as ever right now. They are literally taking our jobs, and we're allowing it to happen. We're allowing the corrupt government to abuse immigrant labor, or we're allowing the corporations to abuse immigrant labor while not paying Americans anymore. Americans deserve American wages, and they deserve to be hired by American companies. We'll talk about all that today. We'll talk about, as well, there's a emergency meeting called by Peter Hegseth. This is kind of scary. Is World War III going to start? Is really the question we'll answer today on this show. I also want to talk about Trump saying he will officially charge Obama. But again, it doesn't mean shit until he charges Obama. Stop saying you're going to charge Obama and actually just charge him and then say, hey, we just charged him. We'll talk about all that today. We'll talk about my feelings on that. I want to talk about Candace Owens as well. Again, I feel like Candace Owens is she's losing us a little bit with these theories. We'll talk about her new beehive theory that she had today. We'll talk about the new YouTube regulations. YouTube is saying they were going to add people back on the platform, only to just ban them right back off. And you guys know who I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about Alex Jones. I'm speaking about Nick Fuentes and political figures. I also want to end the show as well talking about the new South Park episode where they ripped Netanyahu apart. So again, we have a lot of different things to dive into today. A lot of different topics to talk about. So please remember to smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. I'm going to move my mic over here a little bit just so I make sure everything's getting picked up. But I want to talk about this ICE shooting. It's one of the craziest things. So, we got reports yesterday from Cash Patel and the FBI. We got reports that someone was opening fire on ICE agents. Shortly after, we got word that the individual who opened fire on ICE agents killed themselves, that they shot themselves in the head, taking their own life. This is not incredibly uncommon with things like this, where the shooter takes their own life. That is a very common thing, actually. But then is when it started to develop and it started to get a little bit weirder. Right after, Cash Patel says there was anti-ICE writing written on the bullets. And when you think of that, you're like, okay, what does anti-ICE writing mean? Is it fuck ICE? Is it ICE sucks? Is it catch this bullet ICE? The same way they said catch this fascist to Charlie. When Luigi had it, it was depose. Again, I'm forgetting it. But you guys get my point. What was written on the bullets was just the words anti-ICE. And it wasn't inscribed on the bullets. All these previous shooters, the Charlie Kirk shooter, Luigi Mangione, all the big shooter, the Annunciation School, all these big ones, they have carved their inscriptions into the bullets. This one was literally written with a Sharpie or a pen, just a blue pen. So a little fishy there, a little weird. You think you're going to take your own life. You're going to go commit a tragedy. You would think maybe you would put a little more time into inscribing the bullets, not just writing on them with a Sharpie. But again, maybe it's just a really dumb, crazy person. So it's not that itself is not the smoking gun. Then there's the fact that he uses a 30-06, which again, that's weird as well. It's not a, common caliber. It's not the most common household caliber when it comes to rifles, when it comes to guns, self-defense, when it comes to firearms. It's more of a rare one. I mean, people do have them. I have shot one, and I know people who do own them. But generally, it's a rare caliber that people have. So that's another thing. And then the third biggest thing, which was weirder than everything else, is they said he was targeting ICE agents, but not a single ICE agent was hit. It was only the detainees. Only the detainees were shot with a sniper. So, again, this person is either the worst fucking shot of all time, missed every single target and only hit the detainees, or this was attack on the detainees. The FBI is lying. They're trying to divide the parties even more. They're trying to create new laws and they need some sort of a false flag to get it through, maybe. I'm not saying that they committed the attack, but maybe someone shot the detainees. They realized the guy killed himself, and they quickly just took the guy's bullets. Someone's like, hey, who's got a blue fucking Sharpie? And they wrote on it right then and there. And then they tweeted the pictures of the bullets out. It's weird, because Charlie Kirk got shot. We were told about what was inscribed on those bullets, and those pictures never got released. Especially not minutes after the shooting. But this one gets released immediately. Immediately after the shooting, and I mean immediately, within minutes, Cash Patel is releasing pictures of these bullet casings, of the unshot, unspent rounds, onto X. And he is saying, I'm going to read you guys the post now. I'll actually show you it later when we go through the videos at the end of the episode. But he goes, this morning, just before 7 a.m. local time, an individual fired multiple rounds at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility, killing one, wounding several others before taking his own life. FBI, DHS, ATF are on the ground with Dallas PD. While the investigation is ongoing, an initial review of the evidence shows an ideological motive behind the attack. One of the unspent shell casings recovered was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. We are only miles from Prairie Land, Texas, where just 2 months ago an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers. It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to see that those who target our law enforcement are pursued and brought to the fullest extent of justice. I mean, just know if Cash Patel is investigating something, it's going to get fucked up. Because that's what's Cash Patel has literally not succeeded in a single one of his major investigations. But yeah, on one of the unspent rounds, with a blue fucking pen, anti-ICE was written on it. That's what they're using to say that it was a politically motivated attack. And again, they're not 100% wrong. I'm not going to completely write it off that this was just a deranged retard who didn't take the time to inscribe the bullets, wrote anti-ICE, and then didn't hit a single ICE agent, only hit the detainees. Like, if a guy really hated ICE that much, don't you think he would have, like, empathy for the detainees? Wouldn't his goal of shooting the ICE agents be to let some of the detainees run during the commotion and free themselves? Why would he only shoot the detainees? Like, that's the question that the FBI refuses to answer, and that we're speculating here. Again, I think this is most likely a false flag. In the case that it's not, and in the case that this was a politically motivated attack with just the worst fucking shooter of all time, I do want to say it is horrendous if people are targeting ICE agents. Our ICE agents are trying to do work. They're trying to just follow the law. Right now we need more deportations, more mass deportations. We're not getting them, even though Howard Lutnick and Tom Homan and Donald Trump are saying that we're getting millions of them. Realistically, we're not even at 250,000 right now. We're actually really failing when it comes to deportations. We need our ICE agents to be doing their jobs, and there is a rise in violence against them, a 500% rise in violence against ICE agents over the last year. That is a true statistic, so it's not completely far-fetched to think that this could be true, but the parts that make it so insane is the fact that the guy doesn't hit shit. The guy did not hit a single fucking target. Again, I don't know. I mean, it's so easy to hit targets, like, if you have a base level amount of shooting training. It is so easy to hit a target with a scope and a long distance rifle. The fact that this person missed every single shot and only hit detainees just makes me think he didn't actually miss. It really makes me think that whoever was up there shooting was shooting the detainees. Very specifically, they were shooting the detainees. I mean, literally not a single fucking ICE agent got attacked, and we're calling this an attack on ICE agents. Why not do a full investigative effort? Why doesn't he once say in that tweet that it was only detainee shot? Doesn't that seem a little untrustworthy that the head of the FBI is saying we had an attack on law enforcement with anti-ICE written on the casings, and then he doesn't specify who was actually shot or who was shot at. I don't know. I want a video of this attack. Not that we should be releasing more videos of these things, but with this, he kind of got it. I want to know how close the ICE agent was, how close the detainees were. I want to know like where they were standing relative to each other, how far the shots were coming from. They said he was on a roof across the street. It just seems really fishy to me, and we know our government's looking for false flags. We know it's happening. They want to be able to have false flags for a few different things, in my opinion. I think a false flag to push us into Iran is imminent. I don't think this is that. I think a false flag for more laws against citizens, take our rights away a little more, that could be this right here. False flag to help ICE agents out in a way with new laws surrounding that, that could be this right here. I don't think we should be committing terror attacks on our own soil to get laws passed through. I think that's despicable and disgusting of our government. And it seems to be that's what's happening. If this was our government or intel agencies who planned this, or if this was our government or intel agencies, maybe they didn't plan it, but maybe they manufactured the evidence after the man killed himself or after they killed him. I don't know. We need to get more answers on this. And the fact that we're really not getting any answers from Cash Patel gives us the answers we need, that this is most likely a conspiracy. That this is probably something to do with intel agencies. I just keep looking at this tweet, and it's insane how dumb they think we're. Like, do you guys think we're fucking retarded? Do you really think we're not going to ask questions? We're the generation who doesn't fucking stop asking questions. We don't stop asking questions, Gen Z. We literally we're relentless when it comes to that. We will hold you accountable. One thing I hate and this is me sidetracking, but when you watch the presidential debate, you watch the two presidents go at it, and they're constantly like dodging questions. Someone asks a question, they dodge it. Wait till Gen Z is in these fucking debates. Just wait. I want to see one person dance around a question with a Gen Z person on the fucking ballot. I want to see one of these boomers try and dance around a question when a Gen Z person is standing across from them, ripping them a new fucking asshole. And I don't care if they're on the left or the right. Gen Z is ruthless regardless. Does not matter if you're left, does not matter if you're right. If you're Gen Z, you are most likely not willing to put up with the same bullshit that every other generation before us put up with. We are too smart for that. Social media, the internet has made us just too smart for that. We are well past the brain power of boomers. Boomers are actually retarded compared to us. I mean, again, if you're a boomer and you're watching this, there are exceptions to the rule. I'm sure if you're watching the show, you're not that dumb. I'm not gonna shit on all my viewers. If you're a boomer and you watch the show, I probably don't think you're that stupid, but just know I think your generation's pretty retarded, and you guys love to eat that Social Security, not let anyone touch it when we pay for it, and we'll never get it, but that's another discussion. I do want to talk about, I want to talk about the Palantir part of this. I kind of brought it up in the beginning, but Palantir literally has the ability to look through our texts, look through our emails, look through our phone calls, all our social media records. They have the ability to search your internet history and store your internet history. And they do this so they can stop terrorism. That's what they say. They want to stop Muslim terrorists. When you ask Peter Thiel or Alex Karp, that's what they say. Palantir is there to stop future terror attacks. We would have hundreds more terror attacks a year if we didn't have it. Why the fuck are none of these being stopped then? Why is there such a huge spike in political violence? If Palantir is so fucking effective and Americans have literally sold their souls to allow their data to be sold to this company, the president has sold the American citizen souls to Palantir. Why? Why are we still affiliated? I don't think we should have been affiliated with Palantir to fucking start with. I think the American government should have done what it could to just shut it down immediately. But the fact that we gave all our data to Palantir, and Palantir is not stopping any of these attacks, why the fuck are we still putting up with it? Why are we putting up with constant spying on our lives? The entire Bill of Rights literally went out the fucking window. We're barely America anymore. I don't think you guys realize how close we are to not being America. The Patriot Act, the Smith-Mundt Act, the Bill of Rights is practically gone. We're about to get into World War III. Israel owns our fucking country. We can't get lobbying to stop in our nation. AIPAC literally runs our government. We have 250 House representatives who just went to Israel to kiss the fucking wall on their propaganda tour. We cannot criticize anybody without being called racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic. Like, this is not America anymore. Our founders would cry. Our founders would revolt. They'd throw the tea in the fucking harbor. I'm not saying it's time to do anything like that. It is time for peace. It is time for the violence to stop. But what we do need to do is let our government know that we will not silence our voices. We will be louder than ever. We will let them know that they're fucking up. We'll let them know how corrupt they are. We'll let them know that we're not okay with them selling our data to a foreign fucking nation, essentially, for nothing to even change. It's like, if we were going to sell our data to a foreign nation, at the very least, tell me that Charlie Kirk's not going to get shot in front of his wife and kids. Tell me that we're not going to have detainees or ICE agents getting fucking shot at. That we're not going to have churches with little fucking kids getting killed. At the very least, give me that. If we're going to sell our data, at the very fucking least. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask for no terror attacks if we're going to give all our data to prevent them? Since we're not getting that, we need the American government to completely disassociate from Palantir, cut all government contracts. It is terrible, the lack of freedom we have in America. Freedom it's an American staple. When you think of America, in theory, you think of freedom. You know, in your mind, the first thing that comes to your mind is freedom. But we don't have that here. Do you really have the right to free speech? People are getting banned off YouTube still, even after they went back and said we're going to allow people back on the platform. Do we really have free speech in this country? It doesn't seem like it. You get criticized and punished for your speech. You get fired for your speech. We don't have free speech in this country. They take away the rights to have, like, you used to be able to own a lot more different types of guns. You cannot own now. They even limit the types of stocks, the magazine size. Like, what the fuck is this? Is this America? Next, they're gonna alter the Third Amendment and say soldiers can sleep in your fucking house now as long as it's like a Wednesday. The Fourth Amendment's practically gone with the Patriot Act. I don't know. Our founders would hate us. They would love again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. They would love me. They would love our listeners. They would love the America Firsters, the ones who are fighting for this. But they would hate us as a nation right now. Our founders would have revolted against this government. And again, no, this is not a call to pick up your guns and act violently and to go overthrow the government. That is the last thing we should be thinking about doing right now. What we need to do is engage in politics. What we need to do is put ourselves in positions of power to take over politics. Whether that's House and Senate seats, congressional seats, the president, vice president, people in the cabinet, but beyond just that, that's such a small scope of things. We also need to have people in the hedge funds. We need to have people in law. We need to have doctors. We need to have a network of people who are rich in this country, who can change political outcomes, who can drive political change with laws. Because money is what runs all this shit. The only reason we have illegal and legal immigration is because of the corporations. It has nothing to do with the government. The government does not give a shit about them. It's the corporations who pay the government to act like they give a shit about them. You think Biden or Kamala actually give a fuck about random families from Colombia coming to America? You think Kamala wants to live near them? No, she doesn't. Kamala wants to live in a nice gated community in a white neighborhood, even though she's not white. She wants to live in a primarily white neighborhood, away from the majority of the crime, away from the illegal immigrants, away from the legal immigrants primarily too. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Obama, George Bush, all these people didn't want illegal and legal immigrants in their own minds. The only people that did is the corporations who allowed them to pour over the border and paid the politicians, the lobbying groups, the NGOs, the corrupt bureaucrats who got rich off this shit. So I'm so pissed off we're literally getting rid of what the founding principles of America are. Freedom in itself. We're not a free nation anymore. We're owned by another nation. All our data is literally in a database in Israel, the country that fucking owns us. Why is a country that hasn't signed on to the nuclear treaty allowed to spy on every American? Why is a country that attacked a United States ship allowed to spy on every American? Why is a country that allows pedophiles from America to flee back to their country and reside there because there's no extradition? Why are we allies with them? Why are they allowed to have all our data? Why are countries where after 9/11 we had people from their nation celebrating in the streets, videotaping it, saying they knew it was going to happen? Why do they have all our data and why are we allies with them? Why are we allies, and why are we giving our data to a nation that had thousands of art students try and break into government buildings immediately after the 9/11 attack? Again, if it's not clear that Israel owns our government to you guys, I don't know how else to spell it out to you. 250 House representatives were literally in fucking Israel, kissing the wall, instead of focusing on America. If you're Gen Z, you know your life sucks, and it's not your entire life sucks, but you get it. You don't own a house. You're probably not married. You realize the dating scene is an absolute fucking sham. Most women have nothing to offer, and half the guys act like retards. So it's like, what is there in our generation if we don't have our government actually fixing shit for us? What do we have to look forward to? We need to create our own things to look forward to. We need to say, we are done following the Republican and Democrat paths. We are done supporting the GOP. We are done, what has the GOP done for any of us? I'm a huge conservative. I align myself on the right. But what the fuck has the GOP ever done for my life? They've made wages less. They've made houses more expensive. Well, what the fuck have they ever done to improve my life? I fail to see it. They banned people off social media for criticizing Israel. Not even an American state. Although they wanted the 50 states one Israel conference is happening, that they want it to happen. Fuck no, it will never happen. Nowhere in the Middle East. Nowhere. If Israel becomes a state, do people realize we will just be at war with the Middle East forever until we fucking kill every other country surrounding Israel? None of the countries around Israel want Israel to be there or like Israel. That's the reason we've pushed 7 fucking regime changes in the area. If we adopt Israel as a state, or if we bring them on as a district, or whatever the fuck they're proposing at this 50 states one Israel conference, fuck you guys. Literally, the second anybody attacks Israel, the United States will have to get involved. And if we don't, they're just going to start killing our politicians. They've already done it before. They put a bullet in fucking JFK's head. They literally put a bullet in JFK's head. One of the greatest presidents America ever saw, they put a bullet in his fucking head. And we didn't go to war with them. We didn't do shit about it. And it was all because he wanted to inspect their nuclear program, something that we haven't even looked into since. You want to know why they don't talk about inspecting Israel's nuclear program? Because they don't want to get shot. They don't want, Donald Trump doesn't want another bullet in the fucking head. He got one in the ear. He doesn't want one in the head. He knows if he says, hey, Bibi, we're good friends now. We have this war coalition. Let me check out Dimona. Let me check out your nuclear facility. You guys, we all know you have nukes, but it's not on paper. You guys never announced that you have nukes. Your lawyers constantly deny it. But we all know you have nukes. You guys literally stole our nukes back in the day. Let me check him out. You want to know what happened to Donald? He would be walking to go get his Egg McMuffin at fucking McDonald's, or Secret Service would be going to pick it up, and Donald would get a fucking bullet in the head. Right through the fucking White House window. The second Donald Trump left the White House, he went to go take a walk on the roof again, there'd be a bullet in his head from Israel. That's what would happen. That's exactly what would happen. So that's why no presidents question this. But we need to get away from Israel. We need to put them in their fucking place, and we need to let them know that we're not going to allow them to assassinate our presidents if we want to get them in the same nuclear treaty that we're in with China and Russia. Because the Samson option is real. The second Israel feels too threatened and they don't have the support to succeed, and they feel like that their country is going to collapse under war or whatever it is, the Samson option is real. They will just nuke everybody. They'll nuke the United States, they'll nuke China, they'll nuke Russia, they'll nuke the entire fucking Middle East. That is what the Samson option is. Go read the book, go look it up if you don't know what it is. It's a very real thing. It's very crazy that we're allies with this nation. We're allies with essentially a terrorist state. Everyone in the Middle East is a terrorist state. And if you don't think the idea of wanting to nuke everybody if you don't get your way is a terrorist move, what is it? Is it just a bitch baby move? I think it's both. I think Bibi Netanyahu, the entire Samson option idea is a bitch baby terrorist move. It's fucking disgusting. And the fact that our government still aligns with it just shows that we're owned by them. It is overwhelming evidence to show that we have no other choice but to allow them to keep owning our politics and owning our politicians. I don't know, this rise in political violence recently, it really gets you thinking about all the other things like Palantir. It gets you thinking about everything happening that's wrong in our nation, the overmedication that's happening. We literally have so many people that are diagnosed with mental health issues, and I have different feelings on mental health issues. Again, I'm someone who believes in you got to just have a strong mindset. A lot of people have better mindsets than others. You got to be stoic. You got to put your problems behind you. You got to move forward. You got to live your life. If you expect life to be easy, if you expect life to give you everything, the only thing life will give you is opportunities, and you take them or you fucking don't. That's, so like when people are like depressed and saying like my life will never improve, etc., I don't have a ton of empathy for a lot of people with stuff like that. I know people don't, like, when Andrew Tate said depression's not real, he got so much shit for it. And I'm in a similar, boat with him where it's like, I think things are real, but I think it's a mindset generally. There are people who do have some chemical imbalances. I'm not going to completely write that off. But I do think generally it's a mindset you need to move past. I think you need to realize that life itself is not supposed to be great. Life is supposed to be hard work. And life is not supposed to give you anything besides the opportunities to change it. And if you don't change it, you will just stay in the same shitty scenario you're in forever. But right now in our nation, people are struggling with mental health issues, and it is real. 56% of liberal women under 30 are diagnosed with mental health issues, and I think it's like 44% of men who are liberals under 30. And the numbers are even higher when it comes to older generations. It is crazy the mental health issues we do have in our country. But it's not just the mental health problems itself, it's the overmedication of them. People are giving children SSRIs. They are creating patients and customers for life. And these SSRIs are not always good. There are some that can be helpful to some people. There are some different drugs. But generally, most of these drugs are not great. The chemical composition of Oxy is literally just slow-release heroin. People don't realize that. Adderall is like slow-release meth. It's like a little bit weaker meth. Like, seriously, it really is. Google these things. They're very real. Google the Sackler family. Google about Big Pharma. Find out how it got so much power. Google what percentage of TV commercials are pharma advertisements. Google pharma advertisement, or Google pharma settlements. Look at how many of these companies get sued a fucking year. It's crazy the amount of people who are on SSRIs. They're creating like schizophrenics, basically. We have these rogue schizophrenics who are shooting up churches. They're shooting up schools. They are shooting Charlie Kirk in the neck in front of his wife and kids and thousands of Americans. They're either shooting at ICE detainees or ICE agents. We're still looking into it, but I genuinely think they were just shooting at the detainees. I think the entire thing was a false flag. But I do want to warn everybody right now. I don't think this is going to stop, and I don't think this is like even close to the tip of the iceberg. I actually think political violence is going to get worse before it gets better. And again, I said this before immediately after the Charlie Kirk thing. I immediately denounced the violence, and I immediately said to all my supporters, all my viewers, do not engage in violence. De-escalate, remove yourself from situations, protect your life and yourself if you have to. Again, don't allow someone to just take your life. If you're carrying, that's a very good thing. Protect your life. But again, political violence must be avoided at all costs. We pray. We don't pick up our weapons. We pick up our rosaries and our Bibles. We pray. We pray for our safety. We pray for America's recovery. And not only that, we pray for these people. We pray for the mentally ill. We pray for the schizophrenics. We pray for these shooters so that they can be redeemed, so that their souls can be saved. We pray that things like these never happen again. We need the political violence to stop, and it will stop through prayer. It will stop through faith. It will stop because we will put our foot down. We will not back down. We will not just fold under pressure. I'm not saying run away from everything, run away from all conflict. But again, do what you can to de-escalate and remove yourself from any uncomfortable situation, and never stay in a situation where your gut is telling you to leave. I cannot say that enough. Listen to your gut. If your gut is saying leave, leave. It is one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. One of the simplest pieces of advice. I also want to think about, or I've also been thinking about this. If this was happening the other way around, do you think this would be going the same way? Do you think if this was imagine if Kamala won. Let's paint a scenario for a second. Kamala won the election. Donald Trump was out of politics forever at this point. Kamala won. And then a person on the right shot up a school full of kids. Then a person on the right shot the biggest leftist political commentator influencer. Then a person on the right shot at a ICE facility. And the person on the right was having violent attacks and violent mobs rob stores, burn down buildings, and burn down cities. Do you think that this would be the same scenario that we're living in? Do you think the nation would be as calm as it is? I think martial law would have been declared. I think they would be literally throwing us all in jail just for speaking. We would get our rights to free speech taken away. We would all be called Nazis and terrorists. But no, when the left does this, the media barely speaks about it. We literally have leftists and anarchists who are causing destruction and violence in our streets, and the media does not fucking talk about it. They act like it's non-existent. They act like this is just not a problem at all, and that the right is the problem, that our dialogue and the things we're saying are causing this. They're blaming our speech. Blaming our speech for people like Charlie. Like, if you blame Charlie's speech for him getting shot, that's the exact same thing as saying, look at what that whore was wearing when she got raped. That's the equivalent of someone saying that in court. I just want you to know that. If you're that person, if you're saying, oh, Charlie was a Nazi, listen to what he was saying, he deserved to get shot. It's the equivalent to saying, look at what that girl was wearing in court, or look at what that girl was wearing when she got raped. Look at what that whore was wearing when she got raped. It would be the equivalent to just such a destructive comment like that. It is backwards in our society. It is backwards moving. It is a stupid fucking low IQ way of thinking. And it is leading to anarchy. It's leading to violence. A huge spike in political violence. Like I said, in the early 2000s, it sounds crazy again saying it like that, but it's like, we didn't deal with this shit. We did not deal with it, especially at this level. A lot of it, I think, is equated to the mental health issues we went over. And I think there's some false flags sprinkled in there too. I think Israel's losing control of Gen Z. They've had a stronghold on the American government for generations, and they're losing that. So false flags are definitely incoming. I think we will be pushed into a war with Iran. Most likely they'll need a false flag to do that because most Americans are not on board there. They're even talking about sending soldiers back to Afghanistan right now. And then allegedly, Bibi Netanyahu is running around fucking Israel telling everybody that he owns Donald Trump and the American government. That's reported by Tucker Carlson, so we'll take it again with a grain of salt. We know his credibility is not that great after he lied about his dad's involvement with the CIA, but it does not mean he's lying about everything. So it could be true, especially when he's been this heavily critical on Israel. And it does seem that Israel does have a stronghold on America. Again, 250 of our politicians were there. We don't do anything about the money we send there. We're complicit in a genocide. We know they've attacked us. We don't condemn them for it. We know that our president got killed by them. We don't even question it. We don't inspect their nuclear facilities. We don't even question if they have nukes or not. It's ridiculous. They definitely own our government. I don't think it's incorrect to say that Bibi's probably running around Israel bragging about that as well. I do want to move on, though. We've been talking about that for a while. I do want to talk about this 100,000 H-1B visa scam. I hate giving liberals credit when they're right. I really do. It's one of my least favorite things, but I'll do it when they are. Liberals were right when they said taco with Trump. Trump always chickens out is the acronym. Trump has a tendency to say one thing and then just do something completely different. Trump said that there will be a $100,000 fee for H-1B visas that would have to be paid by the employers. This, when you say it by itself, it sounds great. It sounds like we're going to limit the legal immigration, people replacing American jobs, because companies abuse this. Companies will literally, in the fine print, put that they have a job opening, and then say, oh, we couldn't hire an American, now we have to bring in illegals, or now we have to bring in legals. And it's ridiculous. They mainly come from India, they come from third world nations, they take our jobs, they take lower wages, and they work them like slaves, these people. If you set the $100,000 fee as a yearly fee, it would be really, really good because it would pretty much just stop the H-1B scam that's being abused. But what they did is they made it a one-time fee of $100,000. They do not have to pay it for anyone who's already been given an H-1B. So again, we're still going to have Americans be replaced. They're still being replaced. Companies are still going to pay that because they can make that money back and still it will be more profitable than if they paid Americans. We're putting companies' profits over American lives, over American citizens. We're letting big corporations abuse the labor of immigrants at the cost of American lives and American sovereignty. This is the America that our founders warned us would happen if we had a corrupt government. This is the America that our founders said, do not let it get to this point. And it's gotten to this point. It's gotten so bad. So again, our job now, Gen Z, the young men watching this show, we need to fundamentally engage in politics, get in positions of power to change this, to push real America First policies. Our ancestors would be very proud if we were able to do that. That is our goal for the next 20 years, is to get in positions of power and change the laws to fit America first. Change the donor class, change the power structure in this country. Right now, literally, all these big corporations have all the power over the government. Let's either own those corporations by getting in those positions of power, or we change the power structure itself by getting so many people so rich that we don't even need the money from the corporations and government anymore. It's the best way to do it. It is the safest way to do it. I do not want people to engage in violence. I think that is one of the worst decisions possible. And they're also saying that certain categories are going to be excluded from this H-1B scheme. If you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. We don't need American doctors, according to Donald Trump and Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick's the one really making this decision. Howard Lutnick seems to be the driving force of some really negative things that are happening within the Trump administration. Howard Lutnick stands behind Donald Trump as he lies about the Epstein files, burying them, saying that Donald Trump was an informant in the case now. After years, Donald Trump finally says that. It's all bullshit. Howard Lutnick is the one who said that we need 600,000 Chinese immigrants and spies to come into the nation for the success of America. Howard Lutnick is the one who constantly denies that it's a genocide. I wonder why. Jewish people in government hate to say it's a genocide. Howard Lutnick seems to be an Israel first person, the same way Donald Trump has completely gone to the Israel first side. When Donald Trump said America first will be our credo, Americanism, not globalism, he meant Israel first in every single way, and then America like 25th. I just want us to get out of NATO. I want us to drop all foreign relations and all foreign aid. I want us to be a true American national society that puts Americans first. I want Americans to be taken care of at all costs. Why are Americans not taken care of? Why are only 12% of 30-year-olds married and have homes? Why are people in record high credit card debt, student loan debt? Why are college degrees not worth shit? Why are jobs not hiring Americans? Why are we priced out of the housing market? Why is Big Pharma taking over? Why do we have massive amounts of people in my generation dying of fucking fentanyl? And these things can't be fixed. It's because we have too many foreign relations. We send money overseas. Our dollar is not worth shit anymore. We need to restore value back to the dollar, restore value back to manufacturing in a country, restore value back into actually having a cohesive society, one where you don't have Muslims having a call to prayer 5 times a day in American cities, and they're shutting down American fucking streets so Muslims can bow down and pray to their pedophile god. It's disgusting what happens. I showed the video of Dearborn, Michigan, what's going on there. You literally have Muslims take it, like it literally looks like the fucking Taliban is running Dearborn, Michigan. It looks like Dearborn, Michigan is run by ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or the Taliban, that it's run by a bunch of Middle Easterns. I'm really sad at the trend this nation is heading in, and I'm scared as well. We are seeing not only a rise in political violence, but a rise in just regular violence. We saw Irina get her throat slit on the fucking train. I'm going to show a video later of a black guy beating the shit out of an old guy just because the old guy said, hey, this is my seat at the concert. Would you please go to your actual seat? And he beat the shit out of him. I showed you countless videos on this show of people just getting assaulted for no reason. A woman got burned on a train by an illegal immigrant. We had gangs take over a fucking hotel and an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Our nation is being invaded in real time, and it's not just by the illegal and legal immigrants. We also have people in our own nation who act like domestic terrorists. 13% of the population commits 56% of the crimes. The people who do that need to be held accountable to the highest extent. We need to take people who are committing all these crimes, lock them in jail, and throw the fucking key away. No more, you've committed 13 offenses, but I'm sure you won't commit a 14th, and then you go slit a girl's throat on a train and say, I got the white girl. He said, I got the white girl, but they say it's not racially motivated. It wasn't a racially motivated attack according to the CNN, according to MSNBC, according to all these liberal media bullshit news outlets. It wasn't racially motivated. It was just a black guy slitting a white girl's throat and then saying, I got the white girl. Nothing racial about that, guys. Nothing racial. the way a lot of these black people are raised in this country, it brings them into crime. Again, when you have a lack of fathers in the household, it leads to higher crime rates, no matter what the race is. But in the black community, 25% of the population has a dad in the home, when it used to be 75% of the population pre-civil rights. And we're not more racist today than we were in the past, so why is it that black America is doing worse by every single metric? We need to improve that. We need to improve black society. We need to improve American society. We need to get the Muslims out of our country. We need to get Jewish control and Muslim control out of our government. We need to get people like Ilhan Omar out of there. We need to get people like Randy Fine out of there. Anyone who's complicit in this genocide needs to be removed. Anyone who went to Israel instead of staying in America and taking care of Americans, removed. Anyone taking money from APEC and denying that APEC is a foreign lobbyist, removed. Even if you're not denying they're foreign lobbyists, if you're just taking money from them, get the fuck out. You're not welcome in government anymore. Anyone who's a dual citizen of any nation, get the fuck out of my government. Honestly, get the fuck out of my country. I don't think dual citizens should be able to have dual loyalty. Pick one. Pick one. And if it's not America, then get the fuck out. If you put Israel over America, go to Israel. If you put America over Israel, drop your citizenship there, stay the fuck here. I don't want loopholes that allow pedophiles to rape kids in my country and then go to another country for no extradition, commit other crimes, murders in my country, and leave. Commit any crime in my country and then leave? Fuck no. If there's no extradition in your nation and your dual citizenship, pick fucking one today. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick and tired of all these loopholes and scams and all the ways that these people are able to abuse our laws, because it's happening. It is literally happening, and we're dealing with it. I'm going to go on to our next topics. I kind of got sidetracked there at the end. But the $100,000 H-1B thing is just a total scam. Donald Trump tacoed on it, went completely back on his word. I do want to talk about this emergency meeting that Hegseth called. We don't have too many new details about it right now. I will report on further details on it tomorrow. Hegseth called a meeting with a bunch of members from the Pentagon, a bunch of members from Trump's cabinet, and apparently it's an urgent meeting, and people are saying that it's possible we're going to war. It seems like this could be Iran-related, could be something targeting Venezuela as well. We seem to be pushing a regime change in Venezuela. I really hope we're not going to war with Iran right now. That would be really bad. If we went to war with Iran, I would ask you, how does it benefit America? Is Iran really targeting America? No. Are they targeting Israel? Possibly. Is that our business? Fuck no. Israel shouldn't even be our ally. None of these countries should be our ally. We don't need any of these countries to be our allies. We can engage in trade with certain nations without having to protect them and push regime changes for them in every fucking war. I just don't want to be involved with wars. I do not want to be involved with them at all. Donald Trump was the president of no new wars, and now we have Hegseth meeting for a new potential war. We bombed Iran. We literally are targeting Venezuelan boats, which, again, I get in some instances the drug trafficking boats. I get it. I'm Gen Z. I've seen people die from fentanyl in front of my own eyes. I've seen it happen. It's scary. We need to eliminate fentanyl. But at the same time, we need to treat these situations very delicately. A war can escalate very fast into a world war. A war can escalate very fast into greater conflicts, terrorist threats on our country. We need to do what we can to handle this situation delicately, and I don't think they're doing that right now. I think they're being actually pretty reckless about how they're handling this. So we'll give more updates on that in the coming days when we get more information from Hegseth. I don't want to over-report on something that, to be honest, I don't know much about. I bet Nick Fuentes will dive into that on his show tonight. He has more knowledge on geopolitics than anybody, so everyone tune into America First tonight after my show. But I do want to move on. I want to talk about Trump saying that Obama will be charged. I said this in the beginning, but it's like, stop saying we're going to charge Obama and just charge him. Because months ago, you said the same thing. Months ago, they said, oh, Obama Russia hoax is real. We have the proof. We're going to charge him with treason. Okay, it's months later and nothing has happened. Are you going to do shit or no? Until they charge him, I'm not going to believe this at all. I'm just going to consider it another fucking popcorn headline, another tweet, another whatever the fuck you want to call it, because it just seems like bullshit. It does not seem real. It seems like Donald Trump is just trying to up his approval rating in the short term, and he keeps trying to just do it. Like, every time he goes down a little, he does like a new tweet to send the stock market a little higher, or he does a new tweet to say like, we're gonna deport fucking Ellen DeGeneres. Like, I don't know, he picks his celebrity he doesn't like, and he's like, we're gonna deport them, we're gonna arrest Obama, we're gonna throw Hillary in the clinker. Like, again, you're not going to do shit, or else you would have done it. Real men just take action. They don't speak about it. They just do it. Be a real man. Actions first, then words. Stop over-promising and under-delivering. How about that? Stop over-promising and under-delivering. Because that's all Trump has been doing recently. Donald Trump went from the most America-first, American national stance in 2016 to an Israel-first, pro-pedophile, nightmare. He literally is fucking up this country right now by shilling to Israel this hard. They ran a pedophile ring in our country, and we're still letting them get away with it. I want to talk about Candace Owens, too. I'm going to show the clip. I'll show it in a second. We're going to talk about a couple more topics after we talk about Candace, and then I'll show all the clips, but I'll do those all online. But Candace Owens, her new crazy theory is that someone shot Charlie from a tunnel underground, and that there's people speaking in these, Discord servers or online servers, and they're speaking in code about bees. The code word is bees. Bzz, bees. That's how she said it. Again, Candace, I told you need a reality check, sweetheart. You really need this reality check. When I show you guys the clip, you'll see what I mean. If you think I'm just, being too harsh on Candace, just wait until you see the clip at the end of the episode or just skip the timestamps to the clip, because you'll see. It's actually fucking insane. I'll wait to talk about the rest of it until I should have just waited in general, but whatever. A few more things I want to talk about before we just go on to our clips here is I want to talk about this YouTube thing. YouTube said the other day that they were going to allow creators on who'd been banned in the past. You would think that Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, people like that would be the first ones to be allowed back on. They created accounts only to get banned hours later. Nick Fuentes had his account for maybe 4 hours today for YouTube to then ban it. Same thing with Alex Jones, and then YouTube issued a retraction statement saying that, yeah, this is a pilot program, we haven't even started it yet, and it's not going to be every creator who's allowed back on. So, again, YouTube's pussying out. YouTube's not going to allow free speech like they said. Maybe they will. I'm hoping they will, but it seems like YouTube is not going to allow that. I do want to watch some of these videos, and one thing I actually want to do really quick before, this is something I want to add new to the show, I want to start responding to some comments. I always respond to comments just when I actually respond via the comment section, but I'm going to respond to just some directly on the show, just in case these people are listening. I feel like it wouldn't be the worst thing to address some of these, and I'm not going to say the people's names or anything, but I'm just going to address some of the comments, and then I'll read some of my responses, or if I didn't respond, I'll just respond here. But someone said, responding to your opinion on females in politics, our role in the world, government, etc., what would you suggest we as females do to contribute meaning to help our country move forward in the correct direction? Aside from having more children, I have 4. And then I responded with this. I said, it's amazing you have 4 children. I'll pray for your family's health, wealth, and success. Focus on teaching your children real-world history and American history and making sure they receive the best education possible. As a woman, be a voice in your community for young women and adolescents. I think that is some of the best advice I could give there. And I don't want anyone to think when I speak about women this way that I diminish what women are. Women have one of the most important roles in society. Women are some of the most important people. I mean, you guys are the creators of life. It is one of the most beautiful things. It is a magical thing. So I don't want women to ever think I'm speaking down on them when I say I don't want women in government. I just think it would be more efficient if we didn't. It's from a pure efficiency standpoint, and the bell curve says I'm correct with that as well. If anyone hasn't read that book, great book. But yeah, a couple other ones I want to read is someone said, I swear to God, I'm a 16-year-old and I understand how the government has pushed social media to the youth and it makes us all try to be compliant to just becoming nothing but path A. I feel lost because no one my age understands this basic fact. Any advice, help please. And my advice to this person was stay away from weed, porn, move past lust with women, focus on being stoic, setting yourself up for success, keep educating yourself. The history you learn in high school is skewed and only 1/100th of the real history. Read a lot, 100 books a year should be your goal, and always try and make more money than you made the year before. Develop a network of men you can rely on, people you can trust with like mindsets and interests who will always have your back. Never leave your friends for girls, and have a relationship with God. That's some of the best advice I can give to young men. That doesn't just go to this young man. The reason I read that is because that should apply to every young man. If you're in high school, middle school, if you're listening to my show, that is great advice to you right there. Stay away from porn. Get over the lust with women. Don't give women attention when they don't deserve it. Always never be afraid to put your foot down in a relationship. Always be a gentleman, while at the same time work really hard, become successful, don't take shit from anybody, and educate yourself beyond what your school is teaching you. You might think learning sucks, but when you actually learn about things you're interested in, it's really fun, it's really interesting. I was the worst fucking student in school for the sole reason that I just hated being there because I have ADHD out the wazoo. I read 100 books a year because I read about things I'm interested in, and I have interest in politics. So you have interest in politics even if you hate school, I promise you. There are hundreds and thousands of books that you can read that will interest you. True nonfiction books, not just like bullshit novels, but things that will really change your perspective on the world, on America, on history as a whole. So again, if anyone has more questions about, stuff like that, always feel free to reach out. Someone today commented to this, and I just want to say it was a very nice comment I got. They said, "This is the only well-balanced common sense podcast I've ever heard. Thank you. Don't sell out and keep making sense. And you'll grow. We need common sense and crave truth." I just want to say, I appreciate this comment. If this is the only common sense podcast you've ever heard, check out America First with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is one of the smartest people. I mean, he's a lot smarter than me. He's a lot better at this than me as well. Not that I want to, get rid of one of my listeners. Tune into both of us. Don't just leave me. But you get what I'm saying. Tune into him as well. He's on Rumble every single night. I sometimes re-upload a couple of his bigger streams here for people to listen to. But yeah, that's a good one to tune into. Someone said if Donald Trump could pop Bibi Netanyahu out of his mouth long enough to focus on the United States, we might actually get somewhere. Couldn't agree more with you. If Donald Trump could stop sucking the dick of Israel, America could actually be the United States of America, not the United States of Israel. Let's see what else we got. I had a couple things. Let's see. I feel like I had a few more comments I wanted to respond to, but... Oh yeah, one guy said, this dude's never had a good idea but critiques everyone's opinions. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Shut the fuck up. What are your good ideas? I have a lot of good ideas. I'm writing a book on American nationalism. How about that? What are your good ideas? You want to talk shit? I don't mind responding to the comments to talk shit either. If you want to comment and talk shit, I almost welcome it. I'll respond. I don't mind. Yeah, this was a crazy one. The irony of this dipshit calling out Muslims for their pedophile leader when he proudly proclaims his Catholic faith as top-tier clown world. The Catholic Church houses the most confirmed pedophile priests of any religion on the planet. And then I responded with, bad actors who have been rooted out of the church is not the same thing as following a god who raped a kid. Because the pedophile god Muhammad married a 6-year-old and fucked her when she was 9. But Muslims hate when you bring that up. Muslims get so mad when you call Muhammad a dirty, disgusting pedophile, an animal, a dirty, disgusting dog. Muhammad is a dirty, disgusting dog. If Muhammad ever came over to my house to eat, I'd make him eat off the floor out of a bowl because he's a worthless sack of shit. Actually, that's mean to dogs to say that because dogs are great. Actually, my dog's sleeping right here. I love dogs, I'm not trying to diminish dogs. I think dogs are great. I just think Muhammad is a dirty, disgusting fucking animal. I literally would not let him... I wouldn't let him sleep in the house. he'd sleep in the outhouse out in the back. The little dog outhouse like back in those 90s sitcoms. But okay, we're going to get into our tweets now, though. We're going to get into videos, some tweets that I want to go over. This right here is a tweet from Cash Patel. This is the tweet that he put out the pictures of the bullets. As you can see in like a shitty blue pen, there's just anti-ice written on the bullets. And it's just like, it seems lazy. And then, I don't know, you could also see there's like something written here. Maybe those are just raindrops, but it looks like there's something written here and something written here. But those could just be raindrops in a shitty camera, but it really does look like it. So I'm curious what those said because they didn't release that. They just said the anti-ice. But only detainees were shot, not ICE agents. So what the fuck's going on there? Let's go on to the next one. This was a crazy thing. Lance Twiggs, Tyler Robinson's transgender lover, has disappeared from the Utah townhouse they both shared. After cooperating with authorities, they just left. I mean, they literally fled the townhouse. No sign of them right now, so we're looking into that. This is Tyler Robinson's transgender boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. We'll go to this next one. This is about the shooting as well. FBI releases new details on suspected Dallas ICE shooter Joshua Yan. The perp downloaded a document titled Dallas County Office in Homeland Security and Emergency Management containing a list of DHS facilities. He conducted multiple searches of ballistics in the Charlie Kirk shot video between 9/23/24. Between 8/19, 8/24, he searched apps that tracked the presence of ICE agents. One of the handwritten notes recovered read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on the roof?" AP means armor piercing, for anyone who doesn't get that. Further accumulated evidence to this point indicates a high degree of pre-attack planning. Again, like, this seems a little set up because, again, he didn't target a single ICE agent. Yep, but he shot into the back of the van. He's clearly not targeting ICE agents. Yeah. Again, good question. Why was that list of addresses public and available for download? Good questions. We need answers to these, Cash, but Cash isn't doing shit. Cash is just, he's just living up with his Mossad honeypot girlfriend. This is another thing. 64-year-old Rabbi Levi Cash was arrested after attempting to meet a 14-year-old boy for sex in Delray Beach, Florida. Cash faces felony charges of traveling to meet a minor for unlawful sexual activity and unlawfully using a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. This is the rabbi pedophile arrested, and then a follow-up to it is, he'll be on the flight to Israel to start a new life in no time. Hollywood director, latest sexual predator to find refuge in Israel. Why Hollywood's alleged sexual predators love moving to Israel. How Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. Many accused Jewish pedophiles in U.S. flee to Israel. Report from the Times of Israel. Jewish American pedophiles flee justice by coming to Israel. Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel, CBS, The Cradle. Like, again, do you guys see the pattern? Do you see the pattern of why I don't like the dual citizenship, that you could just rape a kid in America, just like that Tom Ordium guy. He works directly under Bibi Netanyahu. He tried to meet a 15-year-old with a condom in a sting operation in Vegas, and then he fled back to Israel. Excuse me there, by the way. This is what I was talking about earlier. YouTube bans Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes' new channels despite the platform's recent claim to the House Judiciary Committee of a commitment of free expression. Yep, Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes' page were delivered. It's just a funny picture, funny tweet by Gravaldis. We'll go on. Yeah, it does not sound good. Pete Hegseth has summoned hundreds of generals and admirals for an urgent meeting. A senior Pentagon correspondent has said, "I've never seen anything like this in the past 30 years. We might be going to war." I told you guys, false flags are incoming. We're going to war with Iran. Regime change in Iran. We're pushing regime change in Venezuela. We're backing Ukraine fully. We're telling Russia that, or NATO countries, to shoot down all Russian planes that fly over their nations. We are going to war. The president of No New Wars has completely sold on himself. That was another comment I got on Spotify. Someone said, a bit harsh on Donald Trump, and it's like, look objectively. Like, especially when you look at my previous videos from when I first started this, I was the biggest Trump shill. I mean, I was the person who would, like, campaign for Trump. I was the person who was saying vote for Trump. I was the person who was saying Donald Trump's doing good, the golden age of America, only to realize Donald Trump sold his fucking soul. Donald Trump bent over for Bibi Netanyahu. Donald Trump is not putting Americans first. And if he is, I ask you, how is it helping Gen Z? How is Gen Z's life improved at all? How is anyone in America's life improved at all unless you're a Jewish American? I ask you, or unless you're a corporation owner, or, you know, like, I don't get it. It just does not make sense. But seems like we're going to war. This is from Myron here, talking about the AF Post. This is, okay, we're going to show the Candace clip. Candace Owens is now claiming Charlie Kirk's assassin may have been groomed by an underground communist death cult centered around bees. Candace believes the cult is tied to MK Ultra, the public school system, and Utah state flag would feature a beehive. Correct, and this is from Steven Crowder. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Candace is insinuating Charlie Kirk's assassins was indoctrinated by an underground communist bee death cult tied to MK Ultra and Utah state flag. No documentation or witnesses. Excuse me. Just her own unanswered text dressed up as proof. Classic Candace. Okay, let me put in my headphones. We're going to watch this video of Candace. I don't know if we'll watch the full 5 minutes. Probably. We'll see how interesting it is. Just give me one moment to finish getting set up with my audio here. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're going to put this clip on really quick of Candace.
Just a cursory online search and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I just sort of went, okay, that's weird. I kept looking online, and strangely, I'm not kidding, and I'm going to show you these messages, I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, Candace, what do you, like literally bees, in a way that the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy, or do you think that all we...
I'm not laughing because something like this is impossible. People use coded messages, but just wait and you'll see. It's just, again, like, it's like this MK Ultra bee death cult. Yeah, they're all taking fucking acid and they're talking about bees.
All these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmers, or saying that they farm bees. What is this lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. And I just sensed that we needed to get more involved, to go to the school, to ask about the process of hiring, to see if they needed more security. They were kind of giving up me the thing that teachers do now when you ask any questions about what happens at the school, which is they make you think like, why do you want to know? Like, we just do whatever we want to do. It's like, I don't know. My children are like 5 and 4, actually. Parents should, of course, we need to be more involved. Like, how did we get here that we feel like we're crazy for asking questions about the hiring practices at schools? And the feeling just didn't go away. I can show you this, actually, because I was thinking, like, I said to my husband, there is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools, and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this, my sister. Here are a couple.
Guys, watch out for the killer bees. Watch out for the bees.
More text message to other people. You can look at the time frame here. This is 8:30, August 30th. This is September 1st when we went off air. September 2nd, we were off air. And I started talking about people that were discussing bees in a way that didn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know if this is drugs. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. And so in a sentence, I just said, there's imminent danger coming. Okay. It is relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground, and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband. Then came September 10th. Obviously, Charlie lost his life. And a few days later, I was told, and I sensed instantly that there was like a hive of people that were involved in this. I just knew it. And when it happened, I just went, oh my goodness. And my gut is telling me that this was the thing, that the dread that I sensed that was coming out of school. And I had no idea. I am not a flag person at all. And then someone told me, and I was astonished, that Utah recently, extraordinarily, did modernize their bee flag. I had no idea that
Utah's in on it now, guys. Utah's in on it. Again, yeah, I'm gonna shit on Candace a bit. Candace, you need a fucking reality check. What the fuck are you talking about? Come on, like, you built up a credible career to a point. Don't fucking ruin it. Beehives and MK Ultra? The state flag of Utah? Like, what the fuck kind of rabbit hole are you going down? Jeez.
The Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right? And unbeknownst to me, that it has always been the beehive state. So in 2024, they modernized their flag, but they've always been known as the beehive state. And to be clear, it's not because they make honey. It's not because they have a high presence of bees. In fact, in terms of making honey or bee-related products, they rank number 24. It's actually the beehive state. It relates to the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Early Mormon pioneers founded that state, and they liked the idea of a beehive working toward a common good. Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar or communist to you, the idea of worker bees, yes, that's where it's from. So this sort of doom that I had about an underground happening, I was just like totally freaked out. It's a Soviet symbol, like the idea of making everybody into a worker bee. So what's happening here? Well, I can tell you my suspicion. I think that this is a program. I do. I don't know, but I know. You know? I don't know,
I don't think you,
but I know.
sweetheart.
Because it
I don't think you know. I don't think you know.
is giving me the same ick that I had when I was looking through the period and learning the reality of what happened throughout the 1960s when MK Ultra, when that program was running. And I have no reason to believe that that program was ever discontinued. And I believe that they find these candidates.
Again, I agree with her there. MK Ultra is still probably going on. It was a very corrupt time. I know all about it. I've done deep dives into it. I love the book by Tom O'Neill about it. But to say that that's this, like, Candace, again, go make your husband a sandwich, please. Just take a seat, take care of your kid for a couple days. Take the rest of September off. Call it a mental health week, sweetheart.
In schools, I really do. I think they find these candidates in schools. And so I wanted to express that to you, that we, once again, are having a predicament, and we can trace this straight from what they did to when
Yeah, there's only like 10 seconds left. There's not much more there. But yeah, I think Candace is actually losing her fucking mind a bit, if I'm being honest. I think her theories keep getting worse and worse when it comes to this. Maybe she's overwhelmed with stress because of this lawsuit that's about to fucking rape her wallet with Macron. But I don't know, we'll see. On to the next one, though. This is a video. Actually, before I show this, before I click play, graphic warning. You don't see a body die, but someone dies in this video. So, if you don't want to see that, skip 30 seconds ahead. It's a 20-second video. But this is what happens when you give non-English drivers licenses in the United States. Yeah, I think this got smushed. That's what happened. That's how dangerous it is. Again, people say, I've had people be like, you're such a piece of shit for saying everyone needs to speak English if they live in America. One, like, you're not called a piece of shit if you say, like, Japanese people require you to learn Japanese. But it's crazy how dangerous it is to have people who don't speak English on our roads. It's right there. And there was another crash in Florida where those 3 people got killed. This is a video. A 14-year-old black suspect has been arrested after savagely attacking and breaking the nose of an elderly man at a concert when asked to sit in his assigned seat. The suspect will likely be prosecuted in family court. Is unlikely to face severe charges due to his young age. This is the aftermath. As you can see, the guy's pretty fucked up there. And then we're going to watch the video. Again, you're going to see a guy get the shit beaten out of him. So graphic. If you want to skip it, skip 30 seconds. See, that's just disgusting animal behavior. That person needs to just be locked away. That person is fairly irredeemable. They just need to be locked away for a very, very, very long time, if not forever. I mean, that person will never be a productive member of society. I can almost guarantee it. Someone who beats the shit out of someone because they ask them to move, they're so fucking low IQ and dumb, and obviously they're prone to violence. So this person should not be... I guarantee if we allow this person back into society, it's inevitable that this person kills somebody one day. Statistically, it's likely. Statistically, it is likely that this person will become a murderer if we allow them back onto the streets. When you look at black crime stats, you look at murder stats, you look at how it leads to that. It's not like their first crime is always murder. It starts with violent assaults. And it starts at a young age. A 14-year-old young boy. I'm not going to call him a man because he's a pussy. We need to start charging these people immediately and throwing away the fucking key. We're going to go on. This is a 15-minute video, so we're only going to watch like a minute of it. I don't want to fucking watch 15 minutes of this shit. But DOJ Epstein investigator Glenn Prager said Epstein was a CIA informant and an asset for the U.S. and Israel. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and the rapes occurred.
But it soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA.
He wasn't a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids.
I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed.
See how fucking fat this guy is? I mean, I know that's sidetracked, but this guy's fatter than shit. This guy needs to work out a little more, eat a little less. Work out a little more, eat a little less, Glenn Prager, you fucking fat ass.
There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. While the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred.
Overheard at Phoenix Airport on September 8th, 2025. A scene.
Yeah, it's crazy. How is there not more investigations into everything going on with Epstein? Epstein was a protected informant. We knew that because of the Alex Acosta testimony, where Alex Acosta said, I was told not to prosecute because he was intelligence. I feel like that right there is the overwhelming evidence to show he is. But then the leader of the FBI, Cash Patel, the guy who fucks everything up, goes and says, nope, not intelligence. We're going to go on to the next one. This is fucking terrible. This is the shit you need to be protecting your kids from. If your kids are in public schools, this is the shit they're teaching your fucking kids when you're not paying attention. Know what your kids are learning in school. Be active in your schools, in your kids' school, in your kids' life. Be active in knowing what they're learning. That's a message to mothers. Know what your kids are learning in school and correct the things that they should not be learning, because this shit is disgusting.
The sidewalk outside is filled with people waiting for the parade to start. Everyone is wearing whatever makes them feel most like themselves, even if that means wearing hardly anything at all.
That's grooming. Like, that is fucking disgusting. You have someone sitting in a room reading a story to kids and telling them to go to pride parades and wear nothing at all if that's what makes them feel comfortable. They're grooming pedophilia. This is pedophilia. These people just need to be killed. Not the kids. The person reading this needs to be locked away forever. They need to be, again, don't kill them. That was me speaking candidly. I don't want anyone to commit violent acts. This person needs to be arrested. They need the death sentence from the government, though. I'll say that. The government should kill him. I mean, like, chemically castrated, maybe, but it's like irredeemable pedophiles, get the fuck out of my nation. Telling kids that it's okay to be naked at parades? What the fuck is wrong with you? Where are we in this nation? What the fuck is going on? Can we snap back into reality for a minute? We only have 3 or 4 left here. Oh, we already went over this one. Okay, I'm going to show 2 clips from South Park. South Park had a pretty good episode last night. I'll give them it. So this is, let's start, actually, we'll go with this clip. This was the clip from the beginning of the episode. The last one was the M one.
What are you guys talking about? Prediction market app, dude. You know, online peer-to-peer betting. Yeah, it's social platform betting. People can make any bet they want, and then other users take them up on it. Really? Yeah, it's pretty sweet, dude. People bet on anything, even stuff here at the SKU. See? Will the girls' soccer team win on Friday? Will there be a snow day this month? Will Kyle's mom strike Gaza and destroy a Palestinian hospital? Will school lunch have tater tots next week? What are you guys talking about? Prediction market app, dude.
Kyle flips out. He goes, why the fuck will my mom bomb a hospital in Gaza? And Cartman goes, because she's Jewish? And then Kyle freaks out. But then here's the end of the episode. Again, if you haven't seen the episode yet, this is a spoiler. But this is the last 30 seconds of the episode.
There you are, Mr. Netanyahu! Just who do you think you are? Killing thousands and flattening neighborhoods, then wrapping yourself in Judaism like it's some shield from criticism. You're making life for Jews miserable and life for American Jews impossible. Oh, don't you roll your eyes at me, mister. You know what you're doing, and you're doing it.
Is that what we have to do to get the war to stop? Do we have to get a pissed off Jewish woman who's just going to complain and send her over there? Like one of the women who won't hang up on a customer service agent until they get the free stuff, until they get their full refund and get to keep their items? Do we have to send one of those broads over? Just a big Jewish broad? Is that what's going to stop the war in Gaza? We send one of them over to Netanyahu to just complain until it fucking stops? Might work. And then that was all the topics. That was all the tweets we had today. That was the entire show. Again, we're going to check if we have any headlines before we do sign off. We'll go over what we talked about. We talked about the ICE conspiracy. They targeted ICE agents, they said, but only detainees were shot. We're going to look into this further. Cash Patel released the picture of the bullets. It seems like it could be a false flag psyop. We also talked about how Palantir is not stopping any of these, even though they are stealing all our data. They say they're trying to stop terrorist attacks, so they need Americans' data. They need to read all our texts, all our calls. They need to do all that to be able to stop these things, but nothing ends up getting stopped. So what's the actual point? Is there some ulterior motive? Most likely. We talked about the mental health issues. So there's a rise in these schizophrenics who are just committing a lot of political violence recently, a huge spike in political violence. And we talked about how if the right was doing this, we would have been declared terrorist groups a long time ago, and we would have been arrested, martial law declared. We talked about the H-1B visa scam, the $100,000, how they're not actually going to do a yearly fee. It's a one-time fee, so it's not really that big of a difference. Hegseth's emergency meeting that we'll report on tomorrow. Trump saying Obama will be charged, but still not actually charging him. Candace losing her mind, the new South Park episode. We talked about a lot of good stuff today. We're going to go on, check if there's any headlines that have popped up. I'm going to close out just a couple tabs. Let's see if there's any headlines. First headline it looks like we have is White House posts 57% Trump approval claim amid poll discrepancies. The White House shared a Rasmussen report poll on X claiming President Donald Trump's approval rating at 57% through the firm's website listed at 53%. It's got to be a little bit lower than that too. I bet that's higher than what is real. President Donald Trump accuses UN of triple sabotage during New York visit. Donald Trump alleged that the UN deliberately caused an escalator to stop, a teleprompter to fail, and audio issues during a speech at the 80th UN General Assembly in New York on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional. It could have been, but it seems like Trump just bitching. Doesn't seem like there's a lot more headline. Oh, okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, we talked about this. YouTube terminates Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes' channel immediately. Yeah, we talked about this too. Trump's title. See, I'm 2 days ahead of X on this headline right here. That's gonna be all the topics we talk about. I guess there's not many headlines to talk about today. That's going to be the entire show for the day, folks. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the show today. Please remember to smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. As you guys see, I'm responding to comments now on the show. I'm going to make this a more regular thing. I probably won't do it every episode, but 1 to 2 days a week I'll do it. I'll just take some of the bigger comments, questions I get, advice, questions people give. People shitting on the show, I'll respond to them as well. Again, there were a couple people who did. I responded right to you. So if you're still listening, I love you for still listening. But just know, I'm not going to shy away from you calling me an asshole. Or I'm not going to shy away from you calling me dumb or whatever you want to call me. I don't care. This is America. We all have the right to speak. We all have the right to disagree with each other. That's what makes this country beautiful. We can disagree, but we need to have dialogue. Continuing having dialogue with people we disagree with is the most American thing we could do. I think we need to engage in politics, engage in political discussions, the hard discussions to move this country forward. I'm James Pascalides. This has been episode 119 of America Unfiltered. Again, please remember to smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'm signing off today. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.